Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel and City toys for us. There you go. Well, these are actually dedicated City games, or some with a sort of link of some sort, or games like if you think of the old Wembley where City are actually featured in it. We're going to have a look at some games that are out there on the internet. This one's quite a rarity actually today. There's last time I looked on the main websites, there was a couple, a Celtic version and a Manchester City version, but very expensive. I wouldn't. I'll tell you more about this later. I wouldn't pay too much for this game. It's good fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's quite simple, quite basic. But I've got a few little tweaks for you as well as we have a look at this game today. So of course, we're going to have a look. You've seen the thumbnail. You know what game we're going to look at. It's obviously Soccer Supremo, the Manchester City FC Soccer Supremo. I'm saying there's various versions of this. I think I know how many versions there are based on this board I've got here. So we'll have a talk about this today. So join me. We'll have a look at Soccer Supremo for Manchester City. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. You'll see some stuff on my film and TV channel as well. And if you can, if you want to have a break from football, have a look at that if you get a chance. And also, if you can actually check out my Facebook and Twitter. If you do follow or friend me on there, I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. So that's fantastic. And of course, I do have a little website where I sell old movie posters and other stuff as well, board games, etc., etc. You might even see this on there one day, but not just at the moment. So having a bit of fun with it at the moment. So please check out moviegamenostalgia.com as well if you get a chance. And of course, all your comments are welcome on this game if you've had it, or it came out in 1992, so if you had it in 1992, you may have got it. I'm sure it would have been supplied through the City shop. It was officially licensed at the time. But as I said, there's not too many copies of it about now, but there are various versions of the same game. And you can actually make it up yourself as well. If you're a bit of an artist, there's no reason why. You've got pawns and stuff you can use. You can actually do this yourself if you fancy having a go. And if you ever do, give us a shout. I can send you a copy of the rules. It's quite simple. There's only a page of rules and on this one, so I can send you that. So there you go. Any comments, please welcome. And of course, if you can just give us a thumbs up, that's fantastic. Yeah, so copyrighted 1991, 1992 by Supremo Games. I've had a quick look on the internet. I don't think they're around anymore. 2 or more players, so you can play as a team if you want. Obviously more fun, just one-on-one. Or you can have a competition, can't you? You can have a competition where you have a little championship, perhaps little groups, and then play a final or something like that. You've got a bit of fun. As adults, we can add a few little things to it, like a drinking game, as I always say for our games. But there you go. It's so 2 more players, 6 to adult, age 6 to adult. Yeah, I think under 6 struggles a bit with this, but it's quite simple once you get to do it. I'd say it's only a 1 page of rules, so it's not overly hard. Board Game Geek. Yeah, there's only 4 ratings for this game, and they've rated the Sheffield Wednesday version. That's probably why it's got a low rating. I'm not too sure. My apologies. Only a bit of fun. Owls fans. Yeah, 3.9 out of 10 it's getting, but one of those guys out of the 4 give it 7 out of 10. Yeah, so I wouldn't be that mean on it, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that lower score, but there's a little tweaks you can make. So you know me in my games, if you watched any of my board games, I've not done anything for a while actually, but we'll do these from time to time. I do like to tweak these games and improve them a little bit if I can. So there you go. So we're obviously going to look at what that 3.9 out of 10, why it's a little bit unfair. So John, I've got the board in front of me there. I'm going to have a show you now, get the camera down, so you can actually see the board. I've not got the biggest desk, so you have to bear with me. I don't want this thing to fall off. Just get the instructions out of the box. There you go, Soccer Supremo, rules of the game there. So if you do make your own up, or you've got a copy of this, or you buy something from a car boot sale perhaps, and you don't have the rules, just give us a shout. I can supply you the rules. Well, there's the board. As you can see, I think I've sussed out the versions of this you can buy. We've got Celtic, we've got Leeds United, we've got Sheffield Wednesday, we've got Glasgow Rangers, we've got Sheffield United, we've got Arsenal, we've got Newcastle, we've got United, we've got Aston Villa, and we've got Sunderland. So I think they're all the versions you can probably buy of this. And the actual Manchester United one, if you look at Board Game Geek, there's actually a version, an improved version, or a bigger version. I won't say it's improved version, it's United, but a version with money as well, where you can put money in this. So I say that's not something I've looked at the moment to adapt in this game myself, but yeah, that's quite interesting. So I'm sure all those versions are available. Nice solid board. Nice. Say this wasn't a new one when I bought it, so Yeah, it's a good, solid, standard, thick board. Right, what little components do we get? Well, I've shown you the rules, haven't I? So there we go. We've got to have a football, haven't you? You've got to have a football if you've got these games. Look, that's fantastic. I love the flat base. Absolutely brilliant. I say you would have to, if you did replicate this game, you'd have probably trouble replicating the base. Well, there's your football. That's fantastic. What else would you need? Well, you need goalkeepers, wouldn't you? But there you go. And as I said, any pawns will do. There's your goalkeeper in green. There's one goalkeeper. Then you get another goalkeeper. So it's not the biggest picture. You're not going to play 11 aside here. So it's going to be a 5-a-side competition with this. And as you'd expect, I'm sure the Glasgow Celtic version has probably got green ones, hasn't it? But obviously you've got your little players, your little pawns. So you set your players out whatever you want before the start of the game. Got 4 players. There you go. Let me perhaps I'm kicking off, so I'll go next to the ball there. That's no problem. So there's the Blues, and obviously if you've got the Blues, you're going to have these guys, aren't you? You're going to have the nasty, horrible Reds. Obviously on the other side, but I think they're very defensive, aren't they? I think Mourinho's in charge with this one, so I say you can't go back in. Let me just bear with me. Don't knock the board over. You can't go back into your own zone where the goalie is. The goalie can't come out of the shooting zone either, so he can actually stay in there. But these guys can't go back into the shooting zone, but the rules can be tweaked like anything. If you want to play a different version of the game, you make your own rules up. So there's your players, there's the ball. What else do you need to play the game? Well, you need your dice, obviously, and nicely for this one, you've got a red and a blue one. It's City and United, or whoever we want to play. We don't have to be anybody, do we? We can make our own teams up, it doesn't matter. And the last element, yeah, to score a goal, it's not as simple. To score a goal, we need shooting cards. So we've got shooting cards 1 to 6, as you'd expect. There's 6 numbers on the dice. They come into play, obviously, when you're playing the game. Now, the standard game, obviously, if you throw the dice, it's all... I mean, there is a bit of skill, actually, to this. I mean, there is a bit of skill. You've got to know when to perhaps pass it and when to keep your players. I mean, however many you will throw on the dice, for instance, so I've got a 3 there. Say I'm kicking off as the blue now. You can either kick it and move with the ball 3 spaces, and you can't go diagonal, although if you tweak the rules you can. If you want to tweak the rules to go diagonal you can, but in this game you're only supposed to go across and that way. So obviously if you're going to go 3, you can either go with the ball, so you go 1, 2, 3, obviously move to there like that, that's your 3 goals, or you could kick off, go 1, and obviously move the ball on its own, so move the ball into space, so you're leaving your player there, so that could tactically come into it later on, obviously, the red, you know, to do tackles and something. And that's how you do it. To tackle, to actually pick the ball up as the red player, you'd throw your red dice there. So he's only got 1, so he's only scored 1. So what does he do? You either move to sort of block, or what would he do? What would you do? Say move him there, just to be a bit negative. And then the blue guy goes again. And he's only got 1 either, so there you go, he's got 1. So up to the Reds. 5, there you go, that's a bit better, isn't it? So now you need, perhaps you could move a player, you can move this player 2 and then go 1, 2, 3, so that's 5 in total. So there you go, you can actually move like that. But we need to see a tackle, don't we? So whatever number you score, so he's got 4, 1, so 2 to nick the ball, 3, 4. So there you go. So the basis of this, the aim of the game is to get it into this zone. As the blue player, you've got to get it in this zone. As a red player, obviously, you've got to get it into that zone. So as soon as you get this ball into the zone, now this is where, if you've got a great memory, I've got a rubbish memory. But obviously, there's 6 options times different options. So say you did manage to get the ball into the box like that. And what actually does, whatever score you got to get into that box, say you scored a 6 and managed to get it into that box, there's little grid references. So you got A4. What you do is you've thrown a 6. So you look at shooting card number 6. And you will look at A4 on the back. There's different options on the back there. They're all, whether you score or whether you shoot wide or whatever. So if you look at whatever box you've finished in, this shooting zone, there's a thing you can look at. Now, you can remember that for future reference. For instance, if you do score, it's fine, isn't it? But if you say, it does take a bit of remembering, because there's 6 of these cards with different options on it as well. So it's not just as simple as remember one move. There's loads about different combinations. So if you get A4, for instance, shooting cards, A4, shoots on volley with your great power, throw 1, 2 or 4 to score. So yeah, it might have told you scored it immediately. So you've got to need a 1, 2 or 4 to score now. So if you're shooting from there, Score, there you go, you scored a goal, so it's 1-0, 1-0, you've scored a goal, massive. So there you go, the old basis of the shooting is actually drawing the right number and getting the right thing on the back of the card. So it's a bit of fun. You can have a time limit on it, you can set it for 15 minutes, or you can say first to 3, or whichever way you want to do it. Obviously, if you set a timer thing on it, have it hidden away so you don't know how long time's going, because obviously some players could start playing for time and taking the time, rolling the dice and moving the players, etc. So it's all a matter of whether you actually control the ball and pass it and put the ball into space, and that means you can keep your players behind, so just in case you can block players, you can tackle, and obviously you tackle by landing on the same square and then nicking the ball and moving up the appropriate spaces. But obviously you need those dice things, don't you? You need good score. You get 6s, you're fine. If you're getting 1s and 2s, you're going to be struggling a bit. So there's that, like any game, any board game, there's an element of luck to that. So that's the basic game, as I say, and you have a time to it. As I say, it can be 10 minutes, it can be 30 minutes, you could play up to an hour if you got that, but it's a little bit long, an hour, isn't it? But so that's a basic, simple basics of the game. For a little bit more fun, why not? I mean, I'm just to say, it's such a shame to waste this thing on the outside, isn't it? If you have other pawns, little pawns of some different games, say you've got Cluedo at home, you could have the pawns on the outside of the board as well. You could have one for you and one for the opponent, playing on the outside of the board. And whenever you roll the dice, you could also have to move your player that many goals. So obviously, you know, you move it around the board. And if you say you landed on City, say you landed on friendly teams, you could actually get another go. Say you took another. So instead of just having 1 turn, you get 2 turns. So there's an element of luck by playing around the side. If you landed on one of the enemies, so if you landed on United, for instance, you could miss a turn and stuff like that. So that's not in the rules. That's my little tweak to the game. So you could obviously, if you landed, say, on a football, if you land on a football, perhaps you get another throw of the dice or something like that. So you could tweak the rules, and that's always the wonderful thing about these games. They're quite simple, and this is a quite simple game, but you can tweak it all the time and do different things with it. If you land on the corner flags, perhaps you get a penalty, even though you might be somewhere else, you can get a penalty. And of course, if you do have a timer and you draw the game, you can have a penalty shootout. So again, you can using these cards, using these shooting cards, it's whether you shoot, or you score or you don't score. So obviously, once you get into that penalty shootout, you can obviously throw the dice, pick which square you want to go on. As I said, certain squares you might remember what you did, but it doesn't always work out like that. As I said, it is not as easy to remember the things and what effect it has. So, but if you do remember them, fantastic. You get a bit of a memory game into it as well, and then you can obviously have a penalty shootout. You get 5 goals. Whoever scores the most goals wins the game, sort of thing. So you can build penalty shootouts. But as I said, if you include the stuff on the outside, bring that into a game. I'm sure the United game with the money involves this stuff on the outside as well to make it a bit more interesting. Very, as I say, very, very simple, very, nothing overly complicated. But I say the fun of playing these games, in my opinion, the fun of playing them all, it's just to tweak them and have a bit of a play around with them as well, because that's half the battle. As I said, availability isn't great on this one. If you check your car boot sales and stuff like that, or check the internet, as I say, they're over £20 at the moment, the 2 versions that are on a certain well-known website, and another website I went on doesn't even stock any at the moment, so they are a little bit limited. I wouldn't be paying, say, more than £5 to £10 for this, to be honest with you. It's a bit of fun if there's a couple of you. Of course it is a bit of fun, but certainly if you've got kids in the house as well, you could have that competition, just have 10-minute matches, or the first one to score goals, gets the points, and then you play each other and end up with a little mini league. So it is a little bit of fun. There's a little bit of tactics involved. As I say, there's a lot of luck involved, as most games are, but as I say, it's whether to pass or hold on to the ball as well is quite important, because sometimes it leaves you a bit, you've got your players lined up in a line of 4, for instance, like Mr. Mourinho would no doubt have them on the edge of the box. You've obviously got to skirt round them and get high scores to get into that shooting zone. So there you go. There's a couple of little tweaks, and I'm sure you can come up with your own little tweaks on it as well. Yeah, so do that. I certainly wouldn't be paying £20 for it. And as I say, the artist guys amongst you could probably design your own little. You get a board and design your own little football pitch and play it and use your pawns. All right, you'd have to get a football of some sort, but yeah, so it is available to do. But that was an interesting one. As I say, it's not specific to City, but obviously City are involved, and I thought we'd have a look at this Soccer Supremo today and just see how it is. Let me know. And if you've played this, or if you've got it in the loft, get it out, have a tweak of it. So a lot of people, I don't understand when people buy games They say, "Well, this is no good. This, well, just play with the rules. Just have a little mess about." I've been doing that since a kid. I used to buy games as a kid and make my own rules up for them as I was playing. If I played with my friends or if I played on my own, I used to tweak the rules. Obviously, it's not much fun playing on your own, but if you mess around with the rules, it's good fun playing. I can play this. I could come up with a version of playing this on my own as well. As I say, we could put money into it. If obviously you could get your money out of your old Monopoly game and. Add money, if you land on a certain square, if you land on Leeds United, you get 200 quid for like passing go or whatever it is. You can tweak it all and have a bit of fun, and that's why I thought I'd do this for you today. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think, and as I say, don't pay silly money for this, but just be patient and you might be able to pick it up. As I say, I've a bit of fun with this myself. I may be putting it on my little website at some stage of it. As I say, my little website is I've struggled a bit since COVID, so it is one of those things where I'm like that, whether to knock it on the head. To be honest with you, it's becoming to cost more than I'm actually earning from it at the moment. But keep your eyes open in the future. I'll keep you informed anyway and let you know. Let me know what you think. Did you enjoy that anyway? Thanks for watching. What you got to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a look at my film and TV channel. The only thing I ever ask of you is stay safe, please, Blues. Thanks for watching. Come on, City. See you later.